I'll be breaking down the Remember the Time video of Michael Jackson. You'll notice that Remember the Time has member right above time. And on the left of Remember the Time, the re is right above the. So starting off, he's referring to this re and the members of the re. As you can see member right above the T. Also, I might add that Re is the sun god in ancient Egyptian time to identify with the sun. This is key. This is why the Re is being emphasized, because Re represents the sun god. Now, you're going to notice and you're going to see who the sun god is. Let's continue. Alright, so you'll notice that it starts off with the cat. As you can see, it starts off with the cat, and ironically, it also ends with the cat, which furthermore is going to emphasize what's actually being said, starting with the cat and also ending with the cat. And then after showing the cat, then it shows the lion cat or lion cub, but the gender is not really being disclosed, whether it's male or female. But it's important to talk about the lioness. Alright, this caught my attention. I didn't notice that it shows this cat, right? And it's going to show the lion cat. Then next is going to show what's supposed to be Queen Nefertiti. Now the message that's being delivered in this movie video is to identify that the cat represents the woman. And we know what that cat is pertaining to, because the emphasis pertaining to the cat, as you can see, the sun is on the bull. Alright. And then we see Queen Nefertiti to identify that she represents this cat. Now, interesting enough that they show the falcon, because each animal represents a pharaoh. Because we depicted characters to identify with the strength. When they use stories, they will place them on the walls or on tablets. This is how the ancients communicated. So Queen Nefertiti is going to say, "I'm bored." And down from her is the cat again. You know, they could have used any animal or any bird or anything or any of the slaves in the kingdom or queendom, but they showed the cat. Alright. So she said, can my pharaoh find something to entertain me? So they're going to show the first person is going to be Stickman. Stickman got thrown to the lions. She didn't like him. Fireman, she going to have his head chopped off. Now mind you, everything is done in order. Then thirdly, you're going to see this mystic, this magician, the power of 3 again. Alright? 3 is past, present, and future. But 3 is also a powerful number, because you're going to see something, you're going to notice something, something's going to be shown. That's going to describe or give an indication, because, again, the individual that you see playing the parts and the writer of the script is also influenced by spirits, guides, as well as beings from different planets. And some may even be beings from different planets. Pay attention. So next is going to see Michael Jackson, which is the character. We're going to call this person the magician, this futuristic, Christ-like person. Because remember, Christ is simply mean anointed, one who is anointed. Now it's important. I have to tell you this because what caught my attention, the ancient one brought to my attention that when Michael, the magician, is being brought out, you're going to notice on the bottom right of the foot of the person that's bringing the magician out, you're going to see triangulated 3 dots to identify with the tribe, which to identify with the pyramid. Now, we've been seeing a lot of that in Stargate, also in the movie Power. But let's try again, right? Okay, tribe, let's get there. Here we go. So when they start to show this magician in all black, they show this pyramid is what it represents. Those dots, left dot, upper dot, right dot. And I explained to you the mystery behind these dots. Okay? I'm going to mute, bring the volume down so you can see what's actually being shown. I'm not showing too much of it. Alright? Let's go. There we go. So she had his head chopped off, right? Now watch. Now she don't even say his name. He don't even say his name. He just come walking out. Look. 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Now, let you understand that Michael Jackson always deal with the number 7. 7 is a divine number. 7 is a holy number. Also, remember, Michael Jackson is a Jehovah's Witness, but he also elevated his consciousness, you see. Now, right when he come out, look what's being shown. You see, no soon as the magician comes out, it is showing the eye of Heru, which is the left eye. Remember, the right eye represents Ra. Okay, the right eye represents the emotion, the moon eye, and this left eye represents the sun, Heru. And you notice how they show like what was shown in Leonardo da Vinci painting with the eyes being possessed like. You see, as was shown in the movie Power when Bird came out, and it shows that eyes, those 2 eyes above his head being possessed. Ask yourself, why would the pharaoh need to even wink or even show one eye? It's being depicted in the message being so coded to identify that this person represents the Heru, this Christ, the Re, and remember the time and how above time is member to identify a member of what? His members, to identify what was actually being spoken about. The Re, the sun, and his members that's being coded. This is why it shows the cat, because the cat identified with the Vijay. Okay? Yes, they even knew. Sex magic. Don't take my word for it. Let's analyze it. Let's go. Now, I don't know if this is green satchel, but it look black and gray. It's up to your interpretation. But it's important that you're going to notice that when he throws this black substance on the ground, it's going to form into a circle. And then this magician is going to, sorcerer is going to step into the middle of the black circle. It's important to note that when he step in a circle, I'm telling you ahead of time so you'll be able to focus and see what's actually in plain sight, because these people is aware of prophecy and aware of beings telling them about what's to come and who's to come. But as he steps in the circle, you're going to notice it's going to be on his left. It's going to be his seal, left, middle, and right of 333. You're going to see 3 people on the left, 3 people above his head, and 3 people on the right to identify what the seal of this magician, this sorcerer. Alright? It's mute. So, no copyright claims. It's going to stop right here. Now, this is important. Now, you can see this substance that's flowing and going from his hand that's pointing to the ground. Alright? Now look, as you can see, on the left hand side, there's three people. It represents his seal, the seal of this magician. And then behind him is going to be 3, as you can see, with his arm stretched. And then on the right, it's going to be 333. All right. Here we are. 3, 3, 3. You see whoever that is playing the harp, the 2 people next to the person playing the harp, and then the 3 people on the other side. Now, I told you this 333 is a mystery, it's a code. It means something to those in the mysteries who understand that we're not talking about no look up a 333 and what it say in Google. It's more powerful than that. It's shredded in mystery. Only those in the know who received the seal understand what that means. Okay? So what transpired was, once he stepped into the circle identifying with black matter, the circle represent him having the abilities to enter into these portals, enter into these realms, you see, from darkness to light. See, the black represent dark, and that black was originally a black circle became a golden, you see, became gold, because black and gold represent dark and light. He transmuted his energy and is able to, and is identifying to show that this black entity, black source, or black person is a black man. Okay? And then he's going to transmute and teleport from one realm to another realm, or transmute his essence right there before them. But it's double talk. Okay? Let's zoom in here. 3 on the left, 3 in the middle, and then 3 on the right. 3, 3, 3. And then this alchemical starts to have whatever word you want to use to identify with the mixing up of the essence that makes up of him. And then in this darkness, which formed this gold, divine nectar. This black and gold. The colors to identify with. The sun is always gold. In ancient Egypt, this is important because if you notice on the walls of the hieroglyphs and everything that's being depicted, the sun, this is gold. Because when you look at the sun, it's either red to identify with Re or Ra, depending on the interpretation of those who interpret it. But Re, which identify with Atum Re, or sometimes Atum Ra or Atim Ra, identify with the sun this. Now this is important. Let's go. And then he have on his chest the falcon feathers of Heru, who identified that this represents the Christ type, the horse, the Heru. And what confirms this is them showing his left eye again. Remember? Akhenaten, which is Eddie Murphy character, the pharaoh showed his left eye. Now Michael Jackson's left eye is being shown to identify with this Christ, this Heru, this horse person. And then Naomi Campbell, I believe she the one who is the actress who playing this role as Nefertiti. She did a very good job playing this role. So Michael Jackson gonna throw his one little finger up, right? He gonna bust a little move, his little dance, and throw his finger up and motion towards her. And she leaned in. You see her leaning in? She leaned her head in. Okay, you got my attention. Then Michael Jackson say, "Do you remember when we fell in love?" He point at her. He say, "Do you remember when we fell in love?" All right. Michael Jackson like, "Do you remember how it all began?" She understands. She understands. She understands. She understands the process of what actually transpired. See, they double talking. All right, let's go. Then Michael Jackson said, "Do you remember? It felt like heaven, and I didn't want it to end." Then he pointed at her. Then he said, "Do you remember?" And she like, "Yeah, I remember." And she in ecstasy because now she identified with who? This magician, sorcerer, or Christ type means. I say sorcerer and I say magician because that's how he came in his black cloak, because he hidden. It's unknown. Notice that when they showed their characters of the ones that was entertaining Queen Nefertiti, they said the stick man, they said the fireman, and then they brought the magician. I'm saying magician. When the black cloak guy came in, they never gave him a name because his name is nameless. He has no name because he's known in many circles. But the initiate knows. They know. Without showing too much. But Michael Jackson walked up on her, grabbed her hand and kissed it. And he said, "Do you remember?" And kissed it. Then when he kissed, because it's forbidden for anyone to touch the pharaoh or his queen or the goddess. But interesting that they showing the Aries sign or the Ram sign, which what the Aries is, or Taurus sign, but I identified as being the Aries sign, right? Okay, even if it was the Taurus, is still a representing of the vagina, yes? Because you know the internal part of the vajayjay, it shows that the fallopian tube on the left, the eggs, the circle part on the left and the right, to identify with what's actually being spoken about. Because you know in ancient Egyptian times that they didn't have that symbol, but that V represents the vajayjay, okay? Because it pertained to a sexual act. Why do you think his song is talking about remember? Remember what? What time do we remember? And what is the emphasis that's being talked about in this video? Okay, let's go. Now, the unknown person, this nameless person, this God, this black God, right, is going to take off and they're going to run after him. But it's important to pay attention to the song that's being said, what's being said exactly when imagery is given. He said, "Do you remember when we fell in love?" Right? When it says that, it's going to show this black and silver. This, because this is coded to identify with something and someone. This is the color of this sun god. You know, when they show the colors of Anubis colors is, as I taught you, black and gray, right? When they show the colors of Heru colors that they'll show on the falcon, on one of the statues of the falcon, is also black and in gray or black and silver, but this color is black and silver to identify that this is being the sun disk. The sun disk in ancient Egypt time is gold, all gold. So ask yourself, why would they use this color to identify with this sun character? And it's important because you're going to notice Michael, the magician, just named this person, this black god. Start saying that. This black god is going to always, it's going to be floating and moving around by this circular disc, this sun god. Then it says, do you remember the time when we first met, girl? And the image gonna float across this sun disc, and then it's gonna show her. Now, her hands is still extended. Her hands is still extended. Now, why is her fingers showing the Baphomet symbol? You know, the pinky and the pointing finger and the thumb. Yeah, he left her smitten and bitten. And she looking at the pharaoh like, damn, I've been perplexed. Alright, then it's gonna say, do you remember the time when we fell in love? And then her hand is gonna go across her chest. Your heart is on your left hand side, but it's to identify her being touched and how she remembered that feeling, you know. Now this part is powerful because when they go through the baskets, once they open up the baskets, then it shows snakes. Then they go to this scene with this black god. They go that black dot again to identify that this being the black dot. The black dot also is the black dot that represents the pineal. But this is also coded to show the circular disc. But it's important to note that there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in a circle, right? But most importantly to understand that it's actually 4, 2, 4. Yeah, there's actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 altogether. And one being a goldish color. Okay? This is important because 4 is D in the alphabet. And that odd color is 1 representing A in the alphabet. DA or AD. And the black dot in the middle. Okay? Let's carry on. I can't make this up. See? And it says, do you remember the time when we first met, girl? Do you remember the time? And he in this circle, this portal, the same circle that he threw on the ground, that he emerged through from, transmuted, transformed, and changed. This black god, this black dot, is black and gold again. And again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4 silhouette and white luminosity, glow, and of course the brown. Again, the 1 and the 4, and the 1 plus 4 equal 5. And him in the circle represents 6, but the circle itself is 1 and 4. This circle of this initial person, or how my inner eye see and what the ancient ones is teaching me. Alright, let's continue. This is important. Now, if there was caption, I would show the caption, but it's going to say, do you remember those times? They're going to say, those sweet memories. And now they entering into the queen's chamber. And as they enter into the queen's chamber, Nefertiti's chamber, this is important because this black god is going to be adjacent or on the opposite side of the room, singing And she's going to be in the bed, in her bed. This is important because Michael Jackson is kind of prophetic in the information that was given to him, because a lot of these symbols is also you'll find in Billie Jean. Think about it. He said, Billie Jean is not my lover. She's just a girl. Says, I am the one. That's prophetic. Because if you pay attention, I'm going to break down for y'all that who is it that was in the bed with, remember, Michael Jackson climbed in the bed, and he was in the bed and he alluded to being intimate with the woman, and then all of a sudden he disappeared. Again, they talking about sex magic. We'll talk about, I can make this up. This is talking about, see the staff, notice that they have the staff or rod. She's going to be stroking the staff, right? She's going to be stroking the staff. Now mind you, the women don't hold staffs in ancient Egypt. Yeah, they do. But she's going to be stroking the staff. And the cat is right up under the staff. Remember I told you how this cat and what the cat represents? Now we know the cat is also Basset, but this is not what is being represented, because this is Nefertiti and this is not Basset. Okay? Let's carry on. Okay. See, sweet memories. And then it's going to show, it's going to float back to show the bed again. The memories of what happened with him and her and him in that bed. Yeah, I had just passed up the scene with Michael Jackson bumping and gyrating. He say those memories will always be deep to him, and then he get to popping his hips to identify, you know, his little moves of being graphic in his own way. Then it goes to this scene, you see, and her holding the staff. Someone's gonna offer her a drink and she gonna throw up, nah, I'm good, I'm straight. This is important because she throw up with, in essence, she's throwing up to 13. You know, 3 and 1 is really 13, because it's talking about the 13th one, you see. Because he's singing in the background. Remember I told y'all about the 13th son. She could have used any gesture, but this gesture is being given because this gesture is important, because it's also clutching on the stab within itself. Michael Jackson gonna say, I would never forget what we did, and she gonna take that 13th hand that she gestured, that had the one cup, and she gonna run them fingers down the black and the gold. It's gonna stop at 1, 2, 3, I believe. I'm telling you, it's coded, and that's the cat head right up under it. Something slid. She slid down that. She slid down that black and silver rod, black and silver staff. See, that's gold right there that she have on. But that rod is black and silver right there. Okay? See, I'm telling you, they code talking. They knew, they know. Then after they say, they're gonna show Michael Jackson singing. Michael Jackson say, I'll never forget what we did. And then it's gonna show this scene with, which is in essence the 13. She representing the 1, and then the 3 pyramids, that tri-formation again. And then soon after, you're gonna see her and Michael Jackson kissing over the tri. You see, the imagery is powerful. It's important. Michael Jackson gonna say, do you remember when we first met? You see, how else could they be? Think about it. She remembered those memories. She remembered who he is and the energy, the power that was utilized for them to connect. And he's reminding her that I'm that magician, I'm that deity, I'm that God, right? And the pyramid is here. And he's pointing to himself because, right, listen, this is important. It caught it right where his finger is, right where the pyramid is, the big pyramid. Excuse me. And his thumb is pointing towards him. That represents the phallus. Alright? Then he throw that ET finger up. Man, I can't make this up. I think the ET finger came from Michael Jackson. I can't make this up. And then when he says, I'll never forget what we did, remember, with then the finger, and it's shooting towards the phallus. That. Notice, I'm telling you, it's all here. In front of her is the water. Look at the water. Look at the water. Right next to her is a circle of water that represents the vajayjay. Water represents life. And the finger and the pyramid, him pointing up, represents the phallus. Just in case you can't see it, let me do this here for you. Okay? So all of these signs here is very powerful and it's incorporated to be seen for a reason, to be shown for a reason. Make no mistake about it. It's all here. Right here. That's the water. That's the water. And then right there. That's the water. And his finger represents all of this is a sex act and it's coded. Because you and I know, we know that there's no water right there in Giza because it's all sand. And in ancient times, they had the Nile. Everything was pretty much ran by the water of the Nile. Okay? And we know that Michael Singleton who orchestrated, brought all this here together, if I'm saying his name correctly, is aware and conscious of these mysteries because that which was whispered to him. According to the Egyptians used the X within a circle as a symbol of the soul, having a value of 9. This is the shape of the 9th Physician's Old Hebrew letter 10, which pretty much translation is coil or ball of yarn. This is important because if you understand that the higher mystery behind the pyramids, large pyramids, medium-sized pyramids, and small pyramids, that X is being shown to identify with the soul as stated. So in each large pyramid, medium pyramid, small pyramid represents the pharaoh ascending, and understand that the phallus is also erect, representing the erection is the point also shooting up to the stars. This is important because the mathematical equation is 999. And 999 basically is as above, so below. So 9 is really 6. The importance of the pyramids, the mystery of the pyramids is resurrection, is ascension, is transmuting, transforming. A solar, a circle in a square. The circle represents the sun. The pharaoh represents the bloodline of the Netters, the bloodline of the gods. The circle represents the sun, and when a pharaoh is so-called to be deceased, the north, south, east, west is the points of a cross, the crossing over, the ascension. The X on top of the pyramid is talking about ascending, arising, transportation.
as it states in ancient times that the cap point was illuminated, the glow, and each time that the energy ascended, it was a elevation, a transportation. So when you turn the pyramid upside down, as above so below, is the representation, is the reason why the pyramid is angled above the stars to represent Sirius, represents that ascension. When we do so, stand on top of it with the X and the X, as we understand the importance of 9 and 9, and 9 and 9, and 3 nines. It shows you the power of 9, because you understand that 9 is nothing more than a 7 with the base of a 7 with a circle on top, which is also the crown of the Ra, which represents also the circle of Ra, the sun disk. Is the reason why 9 is so powerful, because it represents life, the circle of life. So let's remove the X's, 9, 9, and 9. Okay, we know 9, 9, and 9 is 27, and 27 is also a sacred number. So as we can see, now going into this symbol, we'll also notice that as we go here, and let's reveal this mystery, we'll also notice that this represents the pyramid. This is the pyramid. The circle is the pharaoh inside of the pyramid, because the sun, this is the represents the pharaoh. Let's keep that in mind. When Anubis meets the pharaohs to cross him over, or them over to the other side, the erection is erect. They don't show you that because they only show the sarcophagus. Inside is the erect penis. The dot represents the phallus inside of a JJ, represents life. This is what the Ankh represents, the circle, the cross, the circling, but not death or resurrection of life. The outside points of the Ankh represents the breaching into the vajayjay, the phallus entering into the vajayjay. So when you turn the pyramids that's on the ground of Giza upside down, it shoots up. And just like you will notice as the Batman symbol, when they show the symbol, well, that represents the sun shooting up, the upwards, and meeting at that point. Okay? And meeting at that point of the sun. Let's use this to depict the sun. Let's not use that. Let's use this to depict the sun. Okay? This represents the sun in outer space, or in the galaxy, and the pharaoh represents a small sized sun. Let's use this to depict that. The pharaoh represents the small sized sun. And the ascension and the power of the pyramid is the reason why it's Argon, because Argon energy represents a energy, and the most powerful energy of the Argon energy of 13, the 13-1, that 13-1 is powerful in the sound vibration within the pyramid. The ascension represents the ascending of the pharaoh, ascending up to the stars. You see? So to have this representation, and the representation of Michael Jackson holding the 1 in the pyramid, and the pyramid shooting up, you see, it's showing the pyramid shooting up, and them holding the 1 is showing the 1 representing the phallus, because everything is dealing with ancient Egyptian. Sex is not a bad thing if you understand that sex and 6 is synonymous, because the I makes the E sound in the east. So when you really saying six, you really saying sex. Six and sex are one.
Cold talk. Because the pyramid represents ascension. The pyramid represents resurrection. The pharaoh is inside of the pyramid. The pharaoh represents the sun. The pharaoh is the sun. X marks the spot. You see, the four corners represents the ascension, the crossing over. You see, when you know it's as above, so below, the sun is above. So the pharaoh rests in his spots, and the pharaoh shoots up, the pyramid shoots up to identify with the square and the circle shooting up from the ground is really above because it's shooting up. You see, that spot is where you see the large star is, where the large pyramid is. It's talking about ascension. When the sun rises on the pyramid at the bottom base and it rises up, and as the sun rotates to set, the sun also goes up to capture the pharaoh, the sun, up to each higher point, moving up to the smaller point, to the tip, to ascend to the actual tip, that star. That's why we don't say that we don't mourn over death, because there's no death, there's ascension, there's life. To those who understand, this is why the ancients did not cry at death, they celebrated, as should we, not mourn. Only a netter can touch a netter. Only a netter can be intimate with a netter. You know, it's taboo. This is why the ancient Egyptians would never give their descendants, their offspring, to any common folk. You know, this is why Caucasians got that concept from the breeding with each other. Y'all might frown upon it, but that's how they did it in ancient times, because their extraterrestrial god bloodline, they didn't want it to be watered down. So this is why you see the European families taking on our ways, because when your bloodline is blue blood, or your bloodline is powerful, anytime that you step on, let's say if you spoke an ancient language and you mix with a earthly vessel, and that earthly vessel do not speak the language, that child come out to lack in having the ability to ascertain that information unless it was taught. But it's a little bit more bigger than that, more powerful than that, because you're talking about bloodline, energy, power. The power is in the blood, the energy is in the blood. So yes, this is why they did it. But nowhere does it show them being grotesque or deformed, as they show Caucasians looking grotesque and deformed, and these British or Caucasians when they show the incest. You see, you can't do that except by having that royal divine blood that they did in ancient Egyptian time. Research, do your research. But we know the elongated head is identifying with their extraterrestrial origin. Well, archaeologists and anthropologists, when they speak on it, they try to identify with the inbreeding, but that's just with one pharaoh. They don't talk about the many other ones, as if it's customary, which is customary, but don't show that it's being a negative by it showing externally on their physicality, on their physical makeup. All right, let's go. If I had the caption, I'll caption. Michael Jackson said, "Do you remember us? Through Dawn, 2-3. What about us, girl?" That 2-3 again, that 23 again. I'll be breaking some down about that 23. About that in this seal of 23. It's powerful because they did a movie about the 23. Everything this person saying was 23. Pretty much prophetic. Yeah. I would suggest that y'all read the lyrics of Remember the Time. Through Dawn, 2-3. What What About Us Girl. So after Michael Jackson, this black god starts singing and dancing, right? He spin, and as he spin, he reappeared. So it's showing that this person having the ability to appear in different areas, because they were originally, people was originally around him. And he was talking about remembering something. He spin, and then this is shown again. This sun disk of this black god, and the colors and seal of this black god. Now this is the second time that they showing this to emphasize this. It's important that when Michael Jackson, the black god, spin around, his head is going to turn to look at the sun disk. This is to show the emphasis and the real importance of this movie video, to really emphasize this this person, this divine seal. Now mind you, this is important. Go watch Remember the Time. Now mind you, after he looked at the disc, it's going to show the scene of a queen on the wall, a pharaonic queen on the wall, right? Then it's going to show Heru, the horse, and they caption off the eye of horse, which is the Christ type. Then they're going to show Anubis here, you see. And it's important because if you pay attention to the hieroglyphics, and it shows those spacecrafts on the left hand side was identified futuristically, that even written on the walls of the hieroglyphics talks about spacecrafts. That what you see over on the left, by the hand of Anubis being connected to the spacecraft, but likened to three hands, but his hands is connected to his body and not connected to his body. In this hieroglyphic, to depict Anubis. Anubis is he, the god of the underworld. Anubis' father is Osiris. His father is the one who has the ability, the god of the dead, as well as Anubis being the god of the underworld. The black magician Michael Jackson went into the underworld. That's where they get the story of Jesus being underground or dead for 3 days and resurrected on the third day. The power of three. You see, this Christ, the three pyramidal dots to identify with past, present, and future. The pyramid, the tribe, you see, and this tribe-like seal, and then of course this hand being connected to the body, not connected to the body, through the ethereal, the realms, you see. Pretty much is where they corner Michael Jackson, or this black guy magician. You're gonna stop, you're gonna slide this way, you're gonna slide that way, and this we call him this way, and he about to shapeshifter, open that portal up in a circle by turning in a circle. But it's important, remember I told you about the number 7, and encapsulate this 7 again. You know, 6 and him makes 7. 7 is a divine number for many people. 7 also has his head above the heavens and also connected to the ground, you know. So 6 and 1, 7. And before they can get him, he transmute, he shapeshift, he teleport on out of his body. Baboon. Is that the head of a baboon? Alright. Look, this is important. Remember I told you start off with the cat and it ends with the cat. Because no sooner he leaves, the cat represents the female. you're going to notice soon afterward, the cat is going to come down. Ask yourself, why would they show that? Here it go. Look. Then the cat. Soon afterwards. I'm sure you already know what it means. Stay tuned for more on nometology. Subscribe, like, and share.